Hey, what's going on, everybody? You tuned in to Cooking is the Ish, and I am Miss Ish. Tonight I'm making chicken parmesan with spaghetti noodles and asparagus wrapped in prosciutto. You can always switch up my ingredients, but let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so these are my basic ingredients. I have some chicken that's already marinated. It's cost about $5. It has about 6 or 7 boneless, skinless chicken breasts. We also have our asparagus with some prosciutto. Now, I also have my spaghetti noodles and some farmer market organic marinara sauce. I have some Italian breadcrumbs. Now, for my cheese, I didn't have any mozzarella, but I'm going to switch it up. I have some Monterey Jack, a little bit of pepper jack. I have some smoked Gouda, and I have some shredded Parmesan, and then also some Kobe Jack. So I'm going to go ahead and get this meal prepared, and we'll be back when it is time to get everything seasoned up and placed into the skillet. All right, so the next step before we actually get started on our meat, we're going to go ahead and get the prosciutto wrapped around the asparagus. And if you guys have seen any of my videos where they were bacon wrapped, you would know that we're going to do them pretty much the same. So the first thing I'm going to do is just take each asparagus, if you can notice the end of them, how big they are. We're just going to break those off. And instead of me breaking them, I'm just going to get a knife, take about 4 or 5 at a time, and just cut them to a good size until they look about like this. Oh, my bad, I'm not in the camera. And then I'm going to take a slice of the prosciutto. Now, the prosciutto is an Italian meat. It's already pretty much super thin. It has an acquired taste, so that's why I'm going to bake it in the oven and also put some honey on it, okay? So we're just going to take 1 slice of the prosciutto. We're going to take 3 or 4 of the pieces, and we're just going to start wrapping them the same way I would do the bacon wrap asparagus, okay? And they're going to come out looking like this. And we're going to do these until I get about 4 or 5 done, and we'll be back when it's time to place them in the oven. All right, now that all the prosciutto is rolled up on the asparagus, we're going to hit it with a little bit of sea salt. The next thing I'm going to do is add some regular crushed black pepper. And the last thing I'm going to do is add some honey. All right, we're just going to squirt the honey all over. You can put as much or as little as you want. Usually when I do this, you guys have seen me make this several times, either just in a skillet with oyster sauce, soy sauce, a little bit of sea salt, and some water, and they come out super bomb. We're going to get these in the oven for about 350. We're going to let them sit here and let them marinate in the sauce for about 2 minutes. Now it's time to get the chicken prepared. All right, so I have my chicken that I've also added a little bit more seasoning. You don't have to add much to it because the Italian breadcrumbs have enough. I have my egg wash. I have my Italian breadcrumbs and my regular white flour on some paper plates because I'm trying to make my cleanup a little easier tonight. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get this started and get these dipped and sit out for about 10 minutes before we actually start frying. So these were some extra large chicken breasts. What I did was just took 2 and cut them into halves. So I just made 4. First thing I'm going to do is take the egg wash, dip the chicken in it. I'm going to go over to the flour. Now you can do it either way. Usually I'll do it this way, or I'll start with the flour and then go with the egg wash. Just really depend on how you want to do it. It's really no right or wrong way to do this, okay? All right, so now I'm going to go back over to the egg wash on both sides. And a little bit of excess flour in that egg is not going to hurt because it's all going to get fried. All right, now we're going to take the breadcrumbs. And we're going to do this until we get all 4 coated the way we want them to be. Once they're all coated, pretty much looking like this, you want to make sure it's breadcrumbs all over. Okay? We're going to knock all the excess off. And they're going to come out looking pretty good. And like I said, you want to keep coating it until all the chicken is covered. We're going to continue to knock that excess off. And we're going to continue this until we get all 4 done. We're going to place them in this pan until the moisture of the egg soaks up into the flour and Italian breadcrumbs. And then they make them just fry a little better. So let's get the rest done. So our chicken has been sitting for about 5 or 10 minutes. I just placed some grease on the stove. It's going to be on a medium heat. And until that is actually ready to bubble and ready to fry, I'm going to go ahead and get my water ready for the spaghetti noodles and now for the marinara sauce. It tastes a little sweet to me, so I'm going to add a little thyme, basil, Italian seasoning, and also some rosemary just to give it a little extra taste. So let's go ahead and get this inside the pot. The water has been boiling for about 5 minutes. Forgot about it a little. It evaporated some, but that's all right. I'm going to go ahead and stick my noodles inside and let those cook down. I'm going to add a little bit of Italian. What is this stuff called? Oh, it's Italian olive oil. So let's put some in. So this is what it is. It is Italiano seasoning oil. So I got this from Burlington for about $3. All right, so we're just going to add a little bit of that, let that boil down. Then we're going to put the lid on it for about 2 minutes, take them off, blanch them, and get them just seasoned and put them on the side, get ready for the chicken. For the marinara sauce, I'm going to add a little bit of the thyme. You can put as much or as little of the seasoning as you want. I'm going to go with the Italian. And this was a 12-pack kit that I got from my mother-in-law over the holidays. She actually had it for a while and never used it in. Who better else to give it to? I'm going to use some of the rosemary next. And if you can hear it starting to actually start bubbling, so I'm going to turn it down a little bit because I don't want it popping on me. And then last but not least, I'm going to go in with the basil. And you guys know that I love basil, so I'm going to put quite a bit of that. All right, I'm going to stir this up, get the lid on it, and then let this just simmer on a low heat until the noodles are ready and it is time to fry the chicken, and then we'll go from there. The grease is hot enough now to place all pieces of the chicken. I usually would only put 3, but this is a super large skillet, so I'm going to put all 4. I'm going to let them cook evenly on both sides until they are all nice and golden brown. And while we're letting these fry on the first side, I'm going to go ahead and get my cheese ready. So once these are done, we can place them in the oven. Our chicken is golden brown. We're going to take it out, let it drain. We don't want them to be super, super crispy because we do want them to at least be still tender once we take them out the oven. So this is what our sauce looks like now that it has actually simmered. And before we actually place the chicken into our pan, this is a hot plate that I got for Christmas, I believe, but old pictures of me and my husband and me and my in-laws. And you just put any of your hot items on top and it doesn't mess anything up. Right, so I'm going to take some of the sauce. We're going to actually put it on the bottom. And we're not going to put a lot. You don't want to drench these. You don't want them to be swimming. You just want them to be flavored. Have the marinara going throughout it. And the foil just helps it an easy cleanup, okay? So that's all that I'm going to put down. And we're going to get ready to place the chicken inside. Next thing I'm going to do is add a little bit of the marinara sauce to the top of the chicken. If you can notice, I'm not covering it up all the way. We don't want it to be drenched. I'm going to add a generous amount. Now let's add the cheese. All right, so if you notice, they are not drenched, okay? It's still a lot of crispy parts. First thing I'm going to do is take the Monterey, and usually you would do this with mozzarella. I didn't have none and forgot to get it at the store, so we're going to improvise. Use what you got. Next thing I'm going to do is add a slice of that Gouda cheese. And this is something that I had from Christmas. You know, when you get the sausage and cheese and crackers. Well, it was left over and I'm going to use it. Next thing I'm going to do is actually add a little bit more of marinara. Now we're going to top it with Parmesan. And I'm not going to put too much of the shredded because I do have some that is in the cabinet that I'm going to use, like just the fresh Parmesan. And then I'm going to add a little bit of the Kobe Jack cheese. All right. I'm going to add a little bit of parsley on top just to give it a little bit of color. We're going to place the chicken in the oven for about 15 minutes or until all the cheeses have actually all melted together. And the noodles should be done by then, and then it will be time to plate. The chicken looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and get this plated up. All right, first we're going to put the noodles down. We're going to put a little bit of this garlic roasted seasoning oil on top. We're going to actually go ahead now, take our piece of Parmesan chicken. Now, you can either put a little bit of the marinara sauce on top and then go ahead with the chicken, or just do it straight with just olive oil. I went ahead and added a little bit of the marinara to the noodles. And now I'm going to go ahead and place the piece of Parmesan chicken on top. Take a couple pieces of the asparagus wrapped in prosciutto. Place it on the side. And this is my dinner for tonight. I hope you guys liked the video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment. Let me know what you like, what you didn't like, what I can improve with. And until next time, always remember, cooking is the ish. Later.